They might want to protect some of their stars, Tank. Do you think everyone plays for the Giants? Because we have technically seen a massive line movement in this game. It opened up at the Eagles laying a point and a half. Now they're laying
Unbelievable line.
14 points. So it moved 13 points basically. Do you think the Giants play all of their starters? And if they don't, will the Eagles cover the 2 touchdown spread?
Well, see, I think this is a conversation that maybe I should have along with Jared because I think this is something he can probably speak to better than I can.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you see movement like that, I mean, that tells you that people probably already know that they're going to sit their starters, correct?
Yeah. I mean, the market tends to sniff these things out. I'll be honest, 13 points, that's a lot. Like that's a lot of movement in it was like a day. It was like 24 hours. So they're expecting massive layoffs of the entire Giants company, basically, in this game.
Yeah. I mean, so looking at it from that standpoint, you have the factor that Philadelphia definitely needs to win this game in order to secure the number one seed and get the bye. So they want to leave zero doubt that they get that number one seed. So I would expect them to come out just like full steam ahead. And if the Giants are sitting, folks, which kind of team do we see? Do we see a team like the Tennessee Titans where Vrabel decided to sit his players, yet and still those guys came out and they balled and they fought the Dallas Cowboys all the way to the end? Or is it one of these games where you sit your starters and everybody's like, yo, I'm just out here. I'm trying not to get hurt. We understand that we can't change anything towards the playoffs, so just make sure you come out this game unscathed. Let them go ahead and get that win, and then we start to ramp things back up next week when we play in the playoffs. And so given that I don't know how the Giants are actually going to approach this game, this would be a stay away from me. But the one thing that I can say is that I'm pretty confident that with Jalen Hurts coming back, Philadelphia trying to right the ship heading into the playoffs on the right foot, that they should come away with a commanding win in this game. I just don't know if it'll be by 14 points.
Yeah, 14 points is a lot of points, and that is a huge line move. 13-point movement, Jared, towards the Philadelphia Eagles. Your expectations for this one, would you feel comfortable laying 2 touchdowns against a Giants team that we don't even know who will be playing?
There's so many other better betting angles on the board this week that if you're betting this game, you must really be desperate for action. So I'll give you the brief synopsis. The look-ahead line last week on this game was -1.5. When the market closed on Sunday, it closed -3. And then based off of Sunday's results, Giants win, secure their spot. Eagles lose, need to win next week. It reopened 10.5. So basically the sports books are telling you the motivational angle here is worth a full touchdown. And then from that point on Sunday, it's been bet up 10.5, 11, 11.5, et cetera, all the way to 14. So the just the straight motivational angle was worth 7 points. And then the sharp money told you that it was really worth more like 11 or 12. And that's where we get that basically 12.5 point move from 1.5 on the look ahead to 14 now. I mean, it's a massive move. My gut instinct, buy low, sell high, Gary Jabara will be very proud of this, would be to take the Giants. But I have very little faith in what we're going to see. And there is one thing positive I can say for the Giants in this game, and it revolves around their head coach, who, by the way, I think in my eyes is the coach of the year. Right now, he's 3-1, Brian Daboll to win coach of the year. Sirianni's right there, and Shanahan's ahead of him as well. But if I were making a vote today, Brian Daboll has literally turned a roster with a starting wide receiver core of Richie James, Darius Slayton, and Isaiah Hodgins into a above 500 team, playoff clincher in the toughest division in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not the coach of the year, I don't know what is. So to me, that's the only angle I'll give you here is Brian Daboll 3-1 to win coach of the year. He might not win it. I have no idea what's going on in the voters' minds. But in my eyes, that is the most bettable part of this game here because assumingly that market will close pretty soon after the regular season. And I'll give you, we used to play this game on the show, LBI, red flag or deal breaker, right, Lauren? I'll give you a red flag about the Eagles right now. their defensive line is starting to suffer through some attrition. Josh Sweat, unfortunately, was carted off the field on Sunday. The guys that we've used, they brought in, Joseph and Sue, have been okay, but not dominant. Sue's been Joseph's been okay in the run, but if they lose Sweat, they get a little more thin at the edge rusher spot. And I don't think it's going to matter for this game, but going forward, if Jalen Hurts doesn't get back up to speed quickly and that pass rush is a notch below what we saw over the last month, I don't really think the Eagles are a contender for the Super Bowl in my eyes. I think they're a team that probably wins a playoff game and bows out maybe in the second round or the championship round. So long term, a lot of upside with Philly, but I'm starting to see some red flags pop up on their long term prospects for this season.